Global Goal 9. The United Nations agenda to foundationally shift the world into a transborder union. Friends, you need to see this video, this second video here. It's a TEDx video. I'm going to explain to you exactly what's going on, but that second video will give you the entire explanation of what they're doing in their own words by them. Now, the person who's speaking, his name is Parag Khanna. He is not a part of the United Nations as far as I know, but his ideology of globalization and connectography has now been adapted by the United Nations. We first presented his plans to build the North American regions rather than the United States of America back in, I think it was April. And since April, we've been covering what he's been putting out because it's crazy. These are the proposed high-speed railway lines right here, these gray lines here, but they line up with the FEMA regions. They line up with the FEMA centers. So what in the world? His map is basically based, for America, off of economic quote-unquote prosperity. I would call it slavery. At what regions do they make the most money and so on and so forth. That's how they would base the regions, but it just looks strikingly similar to the FEMA regions map, which is kind of odd, if you ask me. Now that said, let me go back up to the top and start over here. The United Nations, through Global Goal 9 of the Sustainable Development Goals, is set to foundationally shift the current world infrastructure into that of a global network civilization, or in other words, a transborder union. World leaders have all buried their hatchets and have conspired against mankind to create a centralized governance, formally and openly called the New World Order. What was once a conspiracy theory is now coming to fruition. Nationalism is a dying belief and globalization is the current agenda at play. The globalists, bankers, and strategists of the world, called the Cabal, are conspiring against mankind to create a world governance, such of which will come about through the global goals of Agenda 2030. In the following TED Talk, Parag Khanna explains how the globalists are going to foundationally shift the current infrastructure of the world into that of the New World Order. Parag's ideologies are now being used by the United Nations to further sustainable development, more specifically, Global Goal 9. We've covered, climate change. We've covered their sustainable agenda for that. They've completed that. They've got their Paris Agreement. That was the first step of it all. Now they're going to further it. Planetary urbanization of for the North American Union. Very interestingly enough, this is not a conspiratorial picture. This did not come from InfoWars or from other websites that have been doing this for a long time. This came from the TED Talk. They openly plan to build the North American Union and do away with the United States of America. That right there, that statement should send shockwaves down the spine of every single constitutional American. Every American. I was debating on saying whether every American or just every constitutional American, but it should everybody. We are not a union. We are a country. We have borders. We have rights. Under a North American Union, we have nothing. We have no borders and we have no rights. And here it is. This is their plan. This is their agenda. America, the land of the free and the home of the brave, is on track to do away with borders and foundationally shift into the North American Union. The United Nations wishes this transition upon America, and it will come to fruition under a Hillary Clinton presidency. Hillary has stated that within 100 days of her inauguration, America will be borderless. A nation without borders is not a nation. It is instead a region. Global strategist Parag Khanna, who is an advisor to the White House, recently merged his ideology of connectography with that of the planetary urbanization agenda. Parag's plan is now formally being acted upon by the United Nations under Goal 9. Goal 9 is defined by basic infrastructures like roads, information and communication technologies, sanitation, electrical power, and water. That's all about to change in the next few years. How it's all constructed right now, it's all going to change. According to the UN, to achieve their global goals for 2030, infrastructure must be changed foundationally. These are the targets of Global Goal 9. Right here, it's in the first one. That's all I'm going to read to you. You guys can come read the rest. Develop quality, reliable, sustainable, and resilient infrastructure, including regional and transborder infrastructure, to support economic development and human well-being with a focus on affordable and equitable access for all. They're doing away with our borders. The United Nations is actively using infrastructure as a facilitator to forward megacities into the limelight. Just as Parag Khanna states, by 2030 there will be roughly 50 megacities across the world. What holds back these megacities from growth, according to the cabal, are national borders, which is why, to complete their plan, an agenda to crush nationalism must rise, and already is coming about. But don't take my word for it, take theirs. This is Momentum, and that's where a lot of this ideology can be found. Same thing can be found on Forbes. Hang on, it's got to load. Come on, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Anyways, Forbes is also talking about megacities. Redefining and remaking global cities. This is their agenda. If you don't know it yet, it's all within the global goals. They've stated it to us. This is what they're planning to do. This is how they're going to destroy the current world order and build a multipolar world that none of us are prepared for. I want to thank you guys for watching and listening. Make sure you come check out this video. This is important. You need to see this. That's all I got for you. God bless and carry on.